What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime. Welcome back to another video. In this video today, guys, I'm here to bring you all my review of episode 1 of probably everyone's most anticipated anime for the summer 2016 lineup, Mob Psycho 100. So let's get started with the review. So Mob Psycho 100 is a brand new series that is brought to you by the same creator who made the infamous webcomic One Punch Man. Now, One's other work, besides One Punch Man, is also Mob Psycho 100, and we finally have an animated version of this webcomic. And it's kind of cool to see, because there is going to be heated topics probably in the comment section down below as far as, you know, what everyone thinks about One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100 so far. And I'm very curious, do you guys believe that Mob Psycho 100 is going to be better than One Punch Man, or do you think One Punch Man is still on top? Me personally, it's kind of hard to say this early on. I mean, we've only seen one episode of Mob Psycho 100, and I mean, we have seen an entire season of One Punch Man. So, when it comes to the debate, you know, we're just gonna have to wait, but I'll ask you guys that again once this season probably ends for Mob Psycho 100. So with this episode of Mob Psycho 100, this episode opens up with a huge battle that is being taken place with all of these demons and one person who is fighting off these demons, which we can probably assume is our main protagonist, because, you know, we have seen from the trailers on what exactly the design of our character looks like, and this is most likely our main protagonist, Mob, fighting off these demons. And we also see that countdown as to the numbers going up when it comes to his emotional state. We see that it goes from like 50 all the way up to 90 something and then to 100%. And as we have been getting information on regarding Mob's character, once his psychic powers reach an emotional state to 100%, he explodes, and everything within the blast radius is pretty much decimated. Now, the thing is, judging from what we saw in the trailers of Mob Psycho 100, we assumed that the main protagonist, Mob, would be the only psychic within the anime. However, the thing is that he is not. There seems like there is going to be more introductions regarding other characters that also possess psychic powers as well. And we actually see another person in this anime who has psychic powers as well. However, his powers are a little bit lesser compared to Mob's. And what we see in this episode is that Mob is apparently a psychic for hire. He goes out and does specific jobs in order to exorcise the demons or the spirits for money. He helps people's problems by simply exorcising the demons, and his boss is actually a psychic as well, at least as far as we have seen, you know, and his name is Reigen. Now, Reigen, we gotta talk about Reigen really quick, because Reigen, like, he is awesome. He is amazing. Like, the comedy aspect of this series of Mob Psycho 100, it's awesome. I really love the comedy aspect of this series, and Reigen just makes it all the better. He really does, because there are moments within this episode in which there are very dramatic moments in which his facial expressions just make everything funnier and more badass, you know, because he goes from being like this simple wimp character, and he has Mob do all the work for him, but at times, though, he will also be very serious, and he's a badass when he is serious. However, we don't really know the full extent of his powers, because it seems like by the end of this episode, he did end up saying that his emotional level within the tunnel, that he could feel something going on. So we know for a fact that he is a psychic, but we don't know really what his powers consist of, because when it comes to Mob is like light years beyond the power that Reigen would ever hope to get. Then that is basically why Reigen, you know, has Mob handle all the jobs. And it seems like Reigen is mainly going to be in this series for comedy relief, but me personally, I would really like to see more from this character and see how he develops, and maybe, you know, we will be able to see, you know, his powers as well and what he's truly capable of, but that's just speculation. population. Now, one thing I really want to talk about is the animation regarding Mob Psycho 100, because it is very reminiscent to one's art style in his webcomic by the same name, Mob Psycho 100. It is very reminiscent to his art style. Now, there is some moments in which you can pick on certain things that actually are very similar to One Punch Man. I mean, the character designs, for one, look a lot like Saitama. Like, almost everyone within the anime looks like Saitama, you know? And also, there's also this one point in which we see a character that has, like, a really, you know, big chin, but the chin is in the shape of a butt. I thought that was paying homage to the little kid in One Punch Man that had, like, the butt-faced chin. Like, I just thought that was worth mentioning because I personally thought that was very funny, especially on how it was probably paying homage to One Punch Man as well. But when it comes to the animation style of this series, is that it's very reminiscent to one's webcomic, and I really dig that because we really don't get to see that art style a lot because, you know, one's art style isn't the best, and especially, you know, when it comes to art in general, it at least has to be decent, and I think that Bones did a beautiful job animating, you know, a crappy looking art style, to be honest with you. But the art style to Mob Psycho 100 adds to the humor, you know, it does. It adds to the comedic aspect of the series and what it has to offer. You have characters who look completely quirky. You have some characters who look really ugly, like the boyfriend and the girlfriend in the beginning of this episode of One Punch Man, who are asking, you know, Reigen to tackle on their job. You know, that was very funny to me. You know, some of these characters look a lot like Saitama. You know, you can definitely pick up on certain elements of One Punch Man, but you can also appreciate the aesthetic of this show, even if the artwork isn't really, you know, that great. Now, when it comes to the story of Mob Psycho 100, I personally believe that this is going to end up turning out to be a episodic series. It's not going to be a series in which the story is groundbreakingly complex, because this is done by the same creator who made One Punch Man, and in One Punch Man, you don't really need the story. You don't really need to pay attention to the story of One Punch Man. I mean, all you really need to know about that series is that there is a guy who pretty much one-punches his opponents in one punch, and that's pretty much it. And when it comes to Mob Psycho 100, from what I saw in this episode and what I am seeing in the next episode, like the little preview that we got, it seems as though we're going to get an episodic sort of series that focuses on Mob's, you know, certain chores that he has to do with Reigen. You know, he's gonna go on certain jobs in which he has to help people's problems by exorcising these demons, whether that be, you know, bringing them to the afterlife or simply defeating them for the sake of protecting the people around him, you know, with his psychic powers. You know, it seems like we are going to get a series like that. So when it comes to, you know, if the story will end up developing more over time, I'm not really sure. But from what it seems like we are going to get a episodic series. So now comes the biggest question. Should you watch Mob Psycho 100? In my personal opinion, I think you guys should at least give this series a shot, especially if you have seen One Punch Man, because there are many similarities to this series that are exactly like One Punch Man, and especially when it comes to the character designs. I mean, oh my god, like, they really, all of the characters look like Saitama. I'm just throwing that out there. And, you know, I'm having a fun time with this series. This is a series where, you know, you don't need to focus too much on the story. It's a very relaxing series that you can just turn your brain off to, and that seems to be the sort of series that one likes to create. And in my personal opinion, I have no problem with that. As long as the series is entertaining and fun, you know, I'm gonna have a blast watching it. So yeah, definitely, if you guys haven't checked out Mob Psycho 100 yet, definitely check this series out. At least give it a try, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as soon as you get finished watching this episode. So yeah, that about does it for my review, guys. Be sure to check out Mob Psycho 100, and be sure to come back to my channel as I review episode 2 of Mob Psycho 100 in next week's episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and of course, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a like. It always helps out the channel. And if you want to stick up to date to my future content on this channel, please hit that red subscribe button below, and you will never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys. Love you all, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.